Paige. Congratulations on all your haul today. What was your reaction when you found out you were Big East Player of the Year and Big East Freshman of the Year?
I mean, obviously, I was happy, proud of myself, but just super thankful and super blessed to be in this position. I have to give all credit to God and then my teammates and my coaches. I wouldn't be Freshman of the Year or Player of the Year without them. Everything they do for me, they sacrifice for me. They set screens for me. They're the reason I have assists and a lot of points. So just giving them credit for all that they do. I know I got the award, but they played a huge role in it as well.
Hey, Paige, this is Charlotte Kell from The Athletic. How are you feeling going into your first collegiate postseason?
I'm excited. I think we all are. And we're obviously just thankful to be able to get this far. I know last year the tournament got shut down. So just to be able to play in the postseason and starting with the Big East tournament, I think I'm really excited. Our whole team is as well.
Do you think it's going to feel, I guess, like a postseason in a traditional sense, or are you kind of taking just another game mentality?
No, I think we're all knowing that we have a higher sense of urgency right now, just because obviously it's March and every game counts, every game matters. From here on out, if we lose, we're done, whether that be the Big East tournament, we're out, or the NCAA tournament, our season's over. So I think we're going to have to step up our level of play and urgency.
Hey, Paige, with both those tournaments being in a bubble, how prepared do you think just you are personally and the team is to go into a bubble like that and really only be allowed in your hotel room and on the basketball court?
I think we're ready to sacrifice whatever we have to do to play. Obviously it's going to be different. We're going to be either at the practice gym, the main court, or our hotel. So there's really only 3 locations we can be at. It's going to be we're going to be in a bubble. We're going to be located into our rooms only. So, it's going to be hard and going to be different, but we're willing to sacrifice and do whatever we have to do to play, especially in a huge tournament games like this.
Paige, this is Michelle Vopel of ESPN.com. Congrats on your awards. I know the pandemic obviously has made everything different, but can you talk about your role on the court? Did you think it would be the way that it has been, when you were thinking about coming to UConn? Has anything about it surprised you, or was this sort of the way that you anticipated it would go?
I think me just having to step into a bigger leadership role was kind of new for me. Coach had put it into my head when I was a senior in high school about how he needed me to come in and be a leader right away, but that's definitely something different. It's easier said than done, just knowing that I had to come in and be a leader. And it was a learning experience. It was a growth experience too. Obviously at the start I wasn't as confident, and I kind of just wanted to fit in and get to know my role and what the team needed me to do. And then once I got that confidence and everything that I was supposed to do and what my team needed me to do and what the coaches wanted me to do, that's when I started to use my voice and just step into that leadership role. We have 3 great upperclassmen, but we also have a really young team, so they can't be the only ones that use their voice and sort of be somebody that people can look at for leadership advice and just for energy and effort. So I think sort of just me stepping into a bigger leadership role than what I was used to was different for me.
What about just the basketball aspect? Because you've seemed very comfortable with the speed of the game, the decisions need to be made, the way that you have to adjust to defenses. Has that been about what you expected it to be, or are you sort of surprising yourself somewhat that you were able to adjust so quickly to the college game?
No, I think it's probably because how we practice. Our practices are a whole lot harder than games. So stepping out on the court, it kind of slows down for you. Just because he pushes us so hard in practice, he makes sure that he's our toughest opponent we face all year. So I think that is a big aspect into kind of the game slowing down when we're actually playing games. And just the different looks he throws at us in practice, he makes sure we sees everything. We can read everything, and film obviously helps. But no, the college game is definitely sped up and faster than high school, and girls are bigger, girls are stronger, girls are quicker. So that was definitely an adjustment. But I think just the confidence that he instills in all of our players, that if we can win practice and if we can beat him in practice, that nobody can beat us in a game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paige, just to follow up on Michelle's question, when do you think you found, or that point where you got that full confidence, I guess? You mentioned finding your voice. I guess what point of the season was that for you?
Definitely, I think when we got into like the swing of games, obviously without a constant like flow and constant rhythm and gameplay, especially with the delay at the start of the season, it was kind of hard to just kind of sit back and read how things were going to go into games from practice. So me learning my role and understanding what I needed to do on the court, I think that's when I started understanding my role a little bit more.
Paige, it's Carl Adamek. You're probably aware that you and Maya Moore are the only UConn players to win Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year. I'm just curious, growing up in Minnesota, how often you had a chance to watch Maya play and just, your impressions, and to do something that she does, that she did. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in elite company, the best of the best, really. When I was in Minnesota, she played for the Lynx. I grew up watching her, Lindsay Whalen, Rebecca Brunson, and players like that. Just, I looked up to them, and I always would go to watch their games, and I was like a really big fan. I had all the gear and all the stuff like that. So just for me to be in the same position that she was when she was here, that's really why I came here, because they get pushed to be the best. And so just me seeing that and footsteps and where I could be going, if I continue to get better and continue to be coachable and continue to be better for my teammates and my coaches, it's really amazing just to see that. And I'm really grateful to be in this position.
Paige, we just spoke to Gino, who said that this year, because of how young this team is, but yet how much it's accomplished, that it's been both very fun and very frustrating. From a player standpoint, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of learning curves that we had to go through. Everything wasn't easy. Everything we didn't understand right away. I know Coach got a lot more gray hairs coaching us. But no, he stayed patient, and through the ups and downs, we sort of just stuck together, and we try to just, keep working, keep getting better, and start listening better, and just making sure we were paying attention to more of the details, because that's what he's really big on. But it's really fun because we all play hard. We all get along with each other. We have great chemistry on and off the court, and that's grown as well. I think that was a huge part of our growth over time, is just our communication and getting to know each other better on the court. And he was really big on that for us. So it's been a lot of learning curves. 6 freshmen, 7 new people who haven't played Connecticut basketball before. But to see what he's done with a group like us, it's really amazing.
Thank you very much. Congrats.
Thank you.
Paige, I just had a quick question about what do you think is the most important thing you've learned from your teammates, especially your upperclassmen, either on or off the court?
I think for them, just being able to stick through adversity, especially here, you get challenged a whole lot. There's a whole lot of pressure. I don't think there's any more pressure on any other college program than there is on UConn. So just for them to have my back and just to make sure that I understand that nobody's going to be perfect and we have each other's back, I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned just going through UConn basketball. Like I said, there's a whole lot of pressure, a whole lot of things you have to live up to or people want you to live up to. But just knowing I had them to lean on, I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Thank you.
Hi, Paige. Your freshman season's obviously been played under very unique circumstances with the pandemic, and Coach was talking about your temperament and how it's helped you handle this whole situation and thrive as much as you have. Why do you think you've been able to thrive so much under these unique circumstances?
I think it's just because I want to play basketball. I don't really care what the situation is, where it is, when it is. I just love basketball and I want to play, and I love my team, I love my coaches, and just the environment I'm in. I couldn't ask for anything better in the times we're in. So everybody's living through the pandemic, everybody's going through it. So I can't have a negative mindset knowing that everybody else is going through it. I just have to power through it and try to stay as positive as I can because, I mean, like I said, I just love basketball. So no matter where I am and what situation I'm in, I just want to play. So I think just getting the opportunity and a college experience to play basketball, I've just been grateful for it all.
Paige, this is Michelle again. I just wondered if I could ask you a couple other things, please. One is you talked about leadership. Do you think it's been a help that your class is actually the majority of the team with Saylor coming in, having 7 freshmen? Does that help a little bit in terms of leadership that there are so many other young players and you all are kind of going through it together?
Yeah, I think so. Just because we can't just rely on the upperclassmen to take care of everything. Because obviously the younger kids, I mean, we have 7 freshmen now and 2 sophomores. So there's not a whole lot of experience on this team. So we have to help out the upperclassmen. It can't just be like 3 older guys doing everything, carrying the whole load, and then 7 younger guys being like, oh, like we'll make mistakes or we're just freshmen. So that type of thing. So I think that has played a role in it. I mean, if we came into class where it was like 2 freshmen, obviously there would be a lot less pressure on us to perform and lead in that certain way. But just, having each other as freshmen, just being able to lead and talk to each other in that regard, I think played a huge part in that.
And, Gino talked about this earlier, and I've talked to some former UConn stars who are older than you. They didn't have to deal with the social media aspect of life and the hype and how sometimes that can be negative things can be turned towards you just because you're good. They didn't have to deal with that. How have you dealt with that, or do you do a good job of tuning that stuff out?
I try to just tune it out. There's so much pressure and so much voices and so much opinions on social media, and some of them are negative, some of them are positive, but I just try to block it out. I just try to never get too high, get too low. And me and Coach talked about this at the beginning. I don't have to live up to any expectations, but the ones that I put on myself and the ones that my coaches need for me and the ones that my teammates need for me. I care about the people who are in my circle, who I can count on and who I can trust. I care about their opinions and their voices. But I'm not going to be perfect for anybody. I'm always going to have something that people are going to nitpick and anything like that. And it's just, it's hard sometimes just seeing all the negative things people say about me and about UConn basketball, and they don't know us. They don't know who we are, who we're about. And if they would sit down and have a dinner with us, they would think we're great people. That's just who we are. But it's hard not to listen to it, but you sometimes have to do it just for your mental sake, really.
Thanks.
Oh, hey, Roger, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. Paige, you talked an awful lot about pressure. How have you dealt with it so well? Is it just relying on the people around you, or is that the way you're wired and everything is a challenge to you rather than pressure on you?
Yeah, I try to look at everything as a challenge. I love challenges, and I think a huge part of it is nobody can put bigger pressure on me than I can put on myself. I have really high expectations for myself, and I know everybody around me feels the same way. I just want to perform well and do whatever it takes for my team to win. And so I'm not really worried about the outside pressure or anything like that. Obviously, it's always going to be there, and there's always going to be voices in the back of my head telling me that I need to do this and do that to perform. But really just leaning on the people around me and obviously my teammates and coaches, I think that was a huge part in me just trying to tune out all the pressure and outside noise.
you said nobody has higher expectations for you than you do for yourself. Did you even dream coming into college this year, you know what, maybe if I had put everything together perfectly, I could become like a national player of the year? Or have you just tried to win one game at a time and continue to get better and not dream that big?
No, I just want to do whatever it takes from my team and our team to win. I'm extremely grateful for all the individual awards and accolades and the player of the year, the freshman of the year. But that's not what I'm concerned about. I care strictly about winning and just about making our team better each and every day in practice and in games. So at the end of the day, the 3 awards I want to get are the regular season Big East Championship, the Big East Tournament Championship, and the National Championship. So we got one of those down and we're working towards two more.
One last question, if I could then. A lot of people are getting awards today, and one person who didn't is a Veena. Can you just talk once again about how important she is to this team and all the little things that she adds and does for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, if I could give awards, she would have mine. I mean, she's our MVP, our do everything person. This is on and off the court. She does so much for this team. She really sacrifices so much for us. She sacrifices her time, her money, her energy into just doing little things for us off the court. We haven't been home in 7 months, and to make us feel at home and just to make us feel loved and just welcome. And just the stuff she does on the court as well. She's a leader. She's our talking person. She's our motivator. She's our energy giver. And I mean, she does everything for this team. She's our leader. She's the freshman's mom. But no, I mean, I can't stress enough how important she is to this team. And I mean, obviously I'm a huge Veena Westbrook fan, but I think she deserves every award there could be.
Paige, Doug from Hearst here. Your teammates and Gino have mentioned about how you seem so cool under pressure. And, we've seen that obviously in some big moments this year. What is it about yourself that you're able to slow the game down in those moments and kind of, have you always been that way?
I think it's just my confidence in my abilities and my coaching staff and the players around me to put me and our just team in the best positions to win. And just the confidence in the work I've put in prior to these big moments, like behind the scenes. So I think it's just got a confidence thing and just being able to being willing to be able to fail. You're not going to make every buzzer beater shot. You're not going to make every great play at the end of games. And just being able to take responsibility for that either way, if it goes in or if it doesn't. Just being able to deal with the talk, negative or good talk, just based on the outcome of the game and the outcome of the situation. I think I've just tried to get better at that and just, be held more responsible for either way it goes.
And how much, looking ahead here in the tournament, how much, weight do you feel on your shoulders to lead this team? I mean, I know stats aren't everything, but, you lead this team in most categories, and usually, when you're gone, the team's gone. How much? Yeah,
I mean, obviously I feel pressure to perform and do whatever it takes for the team to win. But if that's shooting the ball, scoring, or if that's just playing defense and using my length and getting everybody else involved, I think I can impact the game in many different ways. It's not just what you see on the scoreboard and in the stats. So just me doing whatever our team needs to do to win, I think that's what I'm most focused on.
All right, thanks.
Paige, no one's more popular than a freshman point guard that passes the ball a lot on a team. And, you talked about criticism from the outside. There really hasn't been all that much of you this year for outstanding reason. But early on, they were saying, well, Paige passes too much. And I just want to kind of pick your mind there a little bit about you're coming in, just starting out, and people are saying that you pass too much. How do you, kind of sift through that then to, step it up and take more shots?
Yeah, it was mostly just coach. him just being in my ear, and I can't count how many times he told me to stop passing the ball so much and just shoot it. If I did, I'd probably have $1 million for every dollar he told me that. But it was me just coming in. I've always been a pass first player, always look to get everybody else involved. But I think this team needs me to shoot and look to shoot more and look to score more. And that'll get everybody else involved. I think that was the biggest thing for me. If I focus on my shot first, then the defense will too. And that will leave opportunities for other players. So me just being more aggressive and sort of, definitely not getting rid of the pass first mindset, but shoot first and then pass. The passing will come more after that.
And just a follow up, but you talk about like from the outside, I think most often it is that people just root against UConn because they win all the time. And has that surprised you as far as like people that could root against UConn, or were you expecting that coming in, and sort of your outlook on that?
No, I knew that coming in, but living it's a whole different experience. Just, it kind of wows me how bad people don't like UConn and anybody who plays here and coach. No, not a lot of people like him. So, it's just kind of like, whoa. But it's to be expected. I knew that coming in that UConn wasn't everybody's favorite program, but definitely eye-opening for sure.
Thank you.
Hi, Paige. This is Alexa from The Current. One area of your game that probably people don't talk a lot about is your defense. And I know Coach has actually said he's been impressed with how you've gotten better on the defensive end. So, and I think you said too during the preseason that was one area where you were really working hard at. So how do you feel like you've grown, and how do you think that'll help you in the postseason?
Yeah, I think I've tried to really focus on that. There was a lot of talk previously before I got here on how obviously my defensive game wasn't as strong as my offensive game. So I've tried to sort of, not even it out, but get better, obviously. And that's been really a big focus for me. I never want to be a one-dimensional player. I want to be able to play on both sides of the ball, because you can't be a great player and only play one offense and not play defense. So that was a really big focus for me. And I think it's mostly just talking was the biggest thing, because I sort of see stuff before it happens, but just making sure everybody else around me is on the same page. That was really huge. And then obviously just the off-ball reads and movements, and the help rotations, and then keeping people in front of me on the ball. I think that's been a really huge focus. And I think that I've tried to use that to fuel my offense as well. So I think, defense, I've really just tried to improve on.